This is the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast. Listen live weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN in New York, the ESPN app, the TuneIn app, or on your smart speaker by asking it to play 98.7 ESPN.
Got the number one pick in the NHL draft, but the men they can't seem to stump. Do something dumb, that's an observation. CLT make them need to run.
That's Lawrence Taylor!
Call them very trash, CMT for short. Wonder if we best once you peep the score. Up at the crack of dawn, top stories of the morning. While you're yawning, grab your coffee, rise to shine with 98.7. This is Drop Time. We provide highlights from your favorite teams. Got Dave and Rick making plenty of picks. It's Rule 76.
Friday, September 17th. You're already all giggly, huh? I couldn't be more angry this morning. I mean, this is what you want? People walk up to you all the time. Is he really like this? Is the animal behind the glass really such a crazed lunatic? I could not be more angry this morning, and all you have to do is giggle as we start the show. And here we go again.
What's going on, Nubs? Let me see the fingers. We got 9 and we still got 10. What are we looking at?
I didn't say I was going to cut off one of my fingers.
Oh, you weren't going to cut off one of your fingers?
No, why would I cut off one of my fingers?
Hey, I was wondering.
Why should I have to watch that and then cut off my own finger? No. Cut off someone else's
Darius Slayton could use an extra finger or a longer finger on that touchdown that he dropped.
Oh, I give up. I give up. Uncle, whatever I'm supposed to do I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Gunling. I think Santiago might be a worse individual than, in fact, I am. But I'm sorry, okay? I mean, this football team is horrendous. Horrendous. The one thing that we didn't even talk... I don't even understand how this is possible. The one thing that we didn't even discuss all offseason was the defense, Rick, because that was fine. That didn't even bear discussion. Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence and Bradbury's so good, and Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers, now McKinney's healthy. They added Dory Jackson. Blake Martinez, this Ojolari, first-round talent in the second round. This defense is going to be fine. The defense stinks. It stinks.
Hey, I was wondering, did you see that Dexter Lawrence offsides penalty?
The only reason I knew he played in the game was because of that penalty.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, too. I'm watching that game, and I watched it again this morning. I don't understand, and I don't want to get in the weeds and everything else, but all we talked about this offseason, like you mentioned, was how surprised we were with the defense. You know, you mentioned McKinney. He's back. He's healthy. You're looking forward to seeing him play. You added Dory Jackson. Bradbury, had a great season last year. He's one of the best corners in the game, and now with the addition of Dory Jackson, you got one of the best secondaries in the NFL. Well, if that's the case, why? What are we playing soft zone for all game? It didn't make any sense to me. McLaurin's eating them up, and then you have 2 minutes left in this game. You got Taylor Heineke, who's making his third career start, and he marches down the field, and they kick the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, on a second try, they kicked the game-winning field goal. I'll tell you what. There were a lot of moments last night that got me angry. Guys running off the field and having to take timeouts in desperation, taking timeouts and coming out of the timeout and jumping off sides, having multiple false start penalties and needing Daniel Jones to save you and Graham Gano to kick a 55-yard field goal. How good is that guy? Shepard, Gano, Jones, some of your stars last night, but the guys you needed to step up and to play well did not. But what almost drove me to hit one of my dogs last night was the play calling after the interception. Are you just going to laugh all show?
No. Almost made me hit one of my dogs.
They were staring at me, and I got so angry, and I was like, don't you tempt me.
This is what you get when you name your dogs after giants.
You know, it's amazing. I take the one puppy out, and he pitter patters. Like, we go outside, and he's like, he wants to go towards the area where he's supposed to pee, and then he doesn't, and I'm realizing, you know why we named him Barkley? That's why. That's why. Occasionally he'll sprint right there, and no one can get in his way, and otherwise he's hemming, he's hawing, he cuts, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, that would frustrate me. I mean, outside of that run, he had the 41-yard run, which is, that's a positive sign. But, outside of that, I mean, he did nothing. I mean, it was 12 carries, 16 yards. That's less than 2 yards a carry.
I mean, he played a lot, which I guess is positive. It looks like the knee is healing, and he's able to play 2 games in 5 days. So we're excited about that. But he's not playing at a high level at the moment. Now he's not something I worry about long term. But the defense, oh God, and I will tell you what, the offensive line now, by the way, although they were fine,
they were better in the second half. I thought they were better.
They
in
were
the second
fine
half.
last night. What got me? I mean, I was apoplectic. You get the big turnover. Listen. Anything is Gano field goal range at this point. So you're in easy field goal range. All you need is a first down. All you need is one first down to be able to basically run out the clock and have him kick a game-winning field goal. And you act like there's 20 seconds left in the game, and you go pathetic, meek run, followed by another pathetic, meek run, followed by a ball behind Sterling Shepard, where even if he caught it, he's going to be short of the first down. That trio of play calls drove me insane.
Yeah, I don't know how it wouldn't. I mean, we were talking about it before the show. In that spot right there, I mean, you have, obviously the one turnover in the game. Another positive for Daniel Jones, no turnovers. But the one mistake that Heineke makes, Bradbury, great interception. And now, I mean, you have all the momentum. It's your game to win. You mentioned Gano. I mean, 35 straight field goals. So you feel good about that. But you go, I mean, Barkley did nothing outside of that 41-yard run. You go run. And then what was crazy to me, if that was the mindset, was, all right, we'll settle for the field goal. We'll make Washington take a couple timeouts here. Or at least, you could have had Washington burn all 3 of their timeouts, but you decided not to because you threw on third down, and you mentioned it. Ball's behind Sterling Shepard, but even if he catches it, he's short of the first down.
No, and even if it's fourth and inches, you can't go for that there. So you're going to kick a field goal regardless. That play calling was mind-numbing to me. And this look, and I like Joe Judge, and I still do, but I'll tell you what's the phrase? The bloom is coming off the rose. Is that what you say? Is that appropriate?
That's appropriate.
Well, it's coming off. Because they're not playing disciplined football. The defense, which was so good last year, is not that great this year right now at all. It looks horrendous. So, Jones played well last night. You put up what they scored, 29 points. You put up 29 points, you should win the game. But it's just every little minute play that can go against them does. I mean, how does Darius Slayton drop that football last night? Game's over. He catches that, game is over. How does he drop it?
Well, it's not just that one, too. I mean, Daniel Jones had the big run that gets called back because of the hold.
Which is a terrible call.
It's a ticky-tack hold. No,
well,
it's not a great call.
It's a terrible call.
It's a terrible call, but it still gets called. So you have to, I mean, there's 4 points you leave on the field there. Slayton, that's another 4 points. And then you get sacked and you're taken out of field goal range. I mean, that's 11 points you left on the field. 11. That's tough to overcome. And you mentioned the pre-snap penalties. The thing about Joe Judge, too, is, and you mentioned the word, I mean, that's a big word in that building, is discipline and not making mental mistakes. And you had, I mean, a bunch of pre-snap penalties. At one point there, you had a Solder false start followed up right with an Andrew Thomas false start. And then you have special teams, supposed to be Joe Judge's specialty, that cost you at the end. With Dexter Lawrence, for some reason, decided he wanted a jump offside.
It's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, and talking about going from, like, excitement and adulation to, like, rip your heart out. I mean, the field goal's missed. You're all excited. You're dancing around. Like, oh, wait. I mean, it's like a movie. Oh, hold on a moment. There's a flag in the secondary. I'm like, flag in the secondary? Dexter Lawrence has jumped off sides, and you could have bet. They have live betting on all the apps now, right? You can do live betting.
Yeah, you got live betting.
Yeah, after he jumped off sides, you should have bet everything you have that he was going to make that next field goal.
Well, of course. I mean, it's a 43-yard field goal, and he already missed the 48-yarder. Of course, he's going to make it. You don't bounce back from mistakes like that. You don't.
No, you're not good enough to.
No,
I say it all the time.
You're not good enough.
You're not good enough to make mistakes like that and bounce back. And again, and you know what stinks about it? Jones played really well last night. He ran the ball effectively. They caught them with the read option a ton of times. He threw the ball well. I mean, he missed a couple, but overall, he was really good. That was a really good performance from Daniel Jones. And you don't even care about it because they found this is what they do. Teams find ways to win. The Giants find ways to lose.
Bad teams find ways to lose. And over the last 5 years, I mean, just think about that. This is 5 straight years they've started off 0-2.
8 of 9. 8 of the last 9 seasons, but I can't believe they lost that game. I mean, they had no business, Rick, losing that game last night.
None. No, that was their game to win. I mean, even when you watch it, you're like, the Giants should have won that football game. Defense got off to a good start, a couple 3-and-outs, and then, to start the second half, the Giants scored on their first 4 possessions. And then Heineke makes the big mistake. And as a Giants fan, I don't even know how you could... I give you credit for waking up this morning. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. I had this moment in the middle of the night. So I was so hot after the game, just so angry. But I went into bed like midnight, got into bed, and then fell asleep. And then rolled over at like 1:45 and looked at the clock. I'm like, oh. And you ever have that moment where you don't remember what has happened and like the life you're leading at the current moment? So all the time.
I kind of roll over. I'm like, 1:45. I have plenty of time to still. I was like, oh, come on! I was like, I hate this team. Like I had that like brief moment of like, oh, everything, and then I was like, oh God, I can't believe this is the life I'm leading right now.
You know what killed you too in that game was the 2-play 17-second touchdown drive.
Oh.
To make it 27-26. That was too quick. That happened too fast.
Although, yes, but in some ways, I'm like, all right, at least like I thought they were going to drive down the field and they were going to kick a field goal at the buzzer. So at least I was like, all right, now we have a chance to do the same. We had, 4 minutes and 15 seconds, something like that? I mean, it was, McKissick, big play, and then who caught that touchdown? Like a 3-name guy, right?
Seals-Jones, yeah.
Yeah. Was that
Ricky Seals-Jones? It was a nice catch, too.
It was a great, I was sure it was incomplete when he threw it.
No.
I thought he was throwing it away.
Catch. Up over your big off-season acquisition, Doherty Jackson.
I have a lot of blame from last night. I don't blame Jackson for that play.
No, I don't. But I don't understand why you go out and make that move. You have Bradbury coming off his best season as a pro. McKinney's back. Why are you playing so soft? Don't you have corners like that so you can play press man? Especially because you don't generate pressure. You don't get pressure on the quarterback.
Where's anything? They don't get any pressure. And I like Leonard Williams, but he gave you no pressure last night. The closest to the quarterback that Dexter Lawrence got all night was on the offsides. He was nowhere near the quarterback. Guys that you're relying on to get to the quarterback, it's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. So now I made this declaration earlier in the week, and it's a hot take. How can he make a hot take like that? What an awful thing to say. How could he say something like that? Come on, they're done. They couldn't be more done. The defense stinks. The coach, I don't even know if he knows what he's doing at this point. They might be in Atlanta. Then they'll lose 3 in a row. They'll be 1-5. It'll be the same song and dance. So you want to argue with me that they're not done?
No, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't like to see you like this. I don't like to see you quit after week 2. I just don't.
I'm not going to go away.
But here's the thing, though, Dave. I get why you're saying what you're saying. And I think if I was a Giants fan, I'd probably feel the same way about this team. What concerns me the most is you thought that the identity of this team was something you at least felt good about with this team was the defense. And in the first 2 weeks, that was Taylor Heineke's 3rd career start. 3rd. And you let him march down the field in the 2-minute drill and put them in field goal range. Just march right down the field. And then you made Teddy Bridgewater look like Pat Mahomes in week 1.
What happens when you play the good quarterbacks?
Yeah,
right.
Good question.
What happens when you go up against Dak and Brady and Mahomes? Then what happens?
And they didn't even have Curtis Samuel.
No.
It was Terry McLaurin and it was Logan Thomas.
Did they game plan at all for Terry McLaurin? By the way,
apparently not.
He ate one point. He ate your lunch.
He ate James Bradbury up last night.
Oh my God! If I would have told you, of all the things the Giants have that you needed to be concerned about, and we went through the list this offseason, like quarterback and running game and offensive line and getting pressure on the quarterback and linebacker play and covering tight ends, like if we went through everything, where would James Bradbury be on that list of things?
On the bottom. It'd probably be...
Graham Gano would be on the bottom, right?
Gano on the bottom and followed by James Bradbury.
Okay. And he threw 2 games. And I thought, it's one game. It's a bad game. It's fine. I'm not too concerned about Bradbury. He looks hideous. Hideous.
He looks bad. The defense looks bad. And that's what I don't get, though. I don't understand that. It was... Maybe last year was just, one of those years where everything went right for the defense. And Leonard Williams playing for a contract, he had a big year. But I just don't... Like, you knew it was going to take a minute for this offense to get itself right. I mean, offensive line has been a mess. And now, I mean, you lose Gates. There's a new, I mean, the line, you have Price at center last night, so there hasn't been any continuity. You had Daniel Jones played a half in the preseason. Saquon didn't play. Galladay was banged up. I mean, you might as well not even have drafted Tony. You don't use him. So it was going to take the offense a minute, and you felt like you could be buoyed by your defense, right? I mean, the defense was really good last year. So we come into the season, even if the offense struggles, we can still play great defense. Well, guess what? You haven't played great defense. You haven't played good defense.
No, your defense is horrendous. What they allow in the first game? How many did Denver score? 27?
27-13 you lost, Jeff.
Yeah, so they could have easily scored 35. Easily. Yeah. And last night, Washington puts up 30 and probably could have scored more. I mean, it's gut-wrenching. It really is. You know what? Let's make someone's day. Should we make someone? It won't be my day. So should we make someone's day?
I'm just happy you didn't cut one of your fingers off.
No, I was never going to cut one of my fingers. I didn't say anything about my finger.
You said a finger. I just assumed it was your finger.
Why would I cut? Why would I have to watch that? Have no sleep.
No, I don't. I didn't understand it, but I didn't know you had someone at the house that you could just cut their finger off.
Well, I don't know that I do. I was just making an exclamation. Like, I'm so angry. If they lose this game, I will cut off a finger. You want me to cut off one of yours?
No.
I would do it for you.
I'm perfectly happy having 10.
Okay. You have you want like a nub? Like a story when you go see people?
Rothy and Nubs?
Yeah. Like what? We can do nubservations.
Yeah, nubservations.
Yeah.
Nubs Peterson.
I mean, it would be a great party thing, right? Like, what happened to your finger? Oh, the Giants. Well, so you were so upset you cut it off? No, Rothenberg did.
No, I had Rothenberg cut it off.
Yeah,
it's like when your dad, my dad does that trick where he pulls his thumb off.
Right. You can do that. Look at this. Oh, yeah, where's the thumb? No, I don't have it. Why? He cut it off.
I could add it. So, like, if people ask me to marry them, I just throw that into the part of the ceremony. I'll also be doing a magic trick during the ceremony.
That's right.
Where I
come up, gather around close. Watch this. I'll pretend I don't have a finger. In fact, I will not have the finger. Let's make someone's day. Carlos Martinez. I don't think the Cardinals pitcher, but Carlos Martinez says, it's my birthday. I'm listening to you guys live from Australia. It would make my day if you gave me a shout out. Best show in Australia.
Nice.
So happy birthday to Carlos Martinez.
That's great, Australia.
Yeah.
You have any interest in going to Australia?
Lots of interest.
I have
lots of interest in going lots of places, and I've never been anywhere.
Aruba. I mean, you're pretty much the Aruba guy.
I've been to Aruba. We've been to St. Thomas. But other than that, I have not done a lot of traveling.
You've been to Canada.
I've been to Montreal and Toronto.
Montreal. I mean, you had to like Montreal.
Yeah, but I went with the Rangers fan club to Montreal for a Rangers-Canadiens game.
You didn't get the full experience.
No.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I'd like to do all of it. I want to go to Hawaii next summer. That's the goal.
Well, you got plenty. You got plenty of time now, with the Giant season being over.
We can go now.
Maybe you take a trip.
Yeah. Well, what time would this show be in Hawaii? It would be perfect. 11 p.m.
That would be nice. That would make tons
we
of
should
sense.
go on a Hawaiian trip as a show and do the show 11 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Don't try to drag me down with you. My team still has life.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have life.
You guys are full of life. full of life. But by the way, and I know we got a break in RJ today. I truly don't care, but I will break in a moment. I want to get a Tesla, I think, as my next car.
No.
And Sherry doesn't, she almost won't let me.
Isn't there a story about Shaq told his kid because he got all A's? RJ, you have to check this for me. I think I heard the story right. His kid, I think, got all A's. So Shaq had, a deal with him. If you get all A's, I'll let you buy whatever you want. So kid goes out and buys himself a Tesla, shows up at home with it, and Shaq made him return it.
Why?
Because he's like, Sherry, I don't want you driving a Tesla.
Well, you know what she said? She's like, because you know what, that's just going to be work for me.
Of course it is. She'll be the
one
that
not going to know how to use
it.
Then I'm going to have to read the entire book and figure it out and explain it to you along the way and get some kind of special, charging device in the garage. She's like, I don't want it. And the kid's like, come on, let Dad get it. No. So I'm not allowed to get a Tesla. I'm not allowed to have a football team that wins a game. I'm not allowed to get the car that I want. My life is going right down the tubes.
No, you'll be fine.
No.
You're fine, stop. It's week 2. You got plenty of season left.
Oh, great. I can't wait to watch it. 800-919-3776. Listen, what do we even have today? I'm uncertain. We're going to do our Survivor pick, right? We're going to go through the NFL. Well, are we doing a frenzy today? We're doing a frenzy?
Yes, we're doing a frenzy.
I swear to God, if anybody says anything but their question, Santiago, I want you to hang right up. I mean, you have your finger right there ready to go.
Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
You have an obligation today to put on one of the best shows you've ever put on.
How am I doing so far?
You're doing good because Giants fans expect it from you. I've gotten so many tweets last night into this morning. I can't wait to listen to the show. I can't wait to listen to Rothenberg. You want to be the face of the psychotic Giants fan? That's a heavy burden. But you better rise to the challenge today, my friend.
Matthias Kiwanuka at 7:35, and so help me God, if he comes on, he's like, no, it's not that bad. Things are good. I don't know what I'll do.
No,
I might challenge him to a duel.
Take off your glove and slap him in the face with it.
That's right. I'm going to get my epee out. Let's go. My sword. Let's go. I'd like to challenge you to a duel. All right. 1-800-919-3776. The guy from the pigskin payout yesterday should sue Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, he must be sick to his stomach today.
He had $1,000. He probably danced around having won $1,000 and then had
He's got a call today. We got to get him. He's got a call in. I want to know
that
exactly
poor guy.
His response I want to know the high of the Bradbury interception to the low of the Dexter Lawrence offense.
Tell him to bring me my money.
Oh, and then it got ripped away. Poor guy. All right, we're all poor guys today. We're all the loser from the pigskin payout today.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast.
And welcome aboard.
Catch the show on demand wherever and whenever you want. Just subscribe to us, rate us, and review us wherever you get your podcasts.
And we have Saquon Barkley. Let's take a listen to Saquon Barkley after the game saying, guys, we're 0-2. We're not going to panic here.
There's no need to panic. I know, no offense to you guys, everyone's going 0-2. This is again, it's a broken record. The Giants doing this again. But at the end of the day, only people we got is those guys in the locker room. And we got to look in each other's face and say, we got to stop it. We got to figure out a way to stop it. We got to go with the coaches, got to come to work every single day. And when we get the opportunities to win games, to finish games, capitalize. And there's 17 games this year. I mean, it's a long season ahead of us. Everything we want to accomplish is still out there. And that's just the truth behind it.
I can't stomach the guys saying stuff like this. You all think that it's over, and why would you think that? And we believe in ourselves, and we're going to figure it out. Why would anyone believe that to be the case? Every year, it's the same thing. Gettleman is 15-35 since he's taken over as the general manager. Why would I believe this year will be any different than any other year based on what I saw the first two games of the season?
At this point, I don't think you can. But in saying that, to give you some semblance of hope, I mean, when they allow Daniel Jones to play the way he played last night, which is read option, uses athleticism, you can see why they drafted him with a 6th overall pick.
He played well last night. He absolutely did.
But that's how he has to play, though. Like, for you to have Daniel Jones just sit behind the center and not get him out on the edges, get him on the move, then he's not. Then he's not a guy that warrants drafting with a 6th overall pick.
He's a terrific athlete.
He's a
and
fantastic
say what you want
athlete.
about this kid. He's a terrific athlete. You need to take advantage of his athleticism. And I thought they did a good job of that last night. He ran the ball effectively. You know what I wish they would do a little bit more, or I can't even say a little more, just do period? Roll the guy out of the pocket.
Exactly. Get him on the edge. Get him on the edge of the defense because the offensive line is not good enough. Like I'm sure if we had Canty on the show, he'd tell us the same exact thing. You know, the kind of advantage you have when offensive line isn't great and you know exactly where the quarterback's going to be every play because you can just tee off. That's what that right there is what would have pissed me off the most about that last possession after the interception. Saquon Barkley did nothing outside of that one big run, nothing the whole game, and we go first down, second down.
Bunch formation, mind you. Like let's pack everyone into a tight formation and run a play. Like you would have thought 35 seconds to go, Washington had one timeout, and the Giants just had to run it, spike it, 3 seconds, field goal. That's the way they acted. I mean, the tight formation, run, 3rd and 9, throw it behind Shepard, incomplete, and jog him out there. It was pathetic what they did on that drive.
And then you let Washington save their last time out. Which I know, you don't think was that important, but still, Ron Rivera used it in like a weird spot too when he decided to use it. I thought he would wait until they were at least in field goal range to kind of set the field goal up. But still, I mean, if that was the goal going into that drive was, we got Gano, we got the field goal, we'll kick that. As long as we make Washington burn all their timeouts, we feel good about our defense. Well,
I don't know how that could be your mindset. Really,
it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been. But I mean, then you go with the play calling that you went with. I mean that because I know people are going to kill Jason Garrett. I thought he called a pretty good game for the most part.
He was good for the most part. But you know what? When rubber meets the road in the biggest moment last night, that was grotesque.
Yeah, but Dave, let me ask you the question. Who was the best offensive player on the field last night for the Giants?
Daniel Jones.
Okay, so why not put him in a spot
I agree
to
with
be
you.
the best player on the field?
Why not fake it to Barkley and roll this guy out and just set up a simple pass to the tight end or have Barkley go out with you, right? Like, I do not understand why in that moment. And he called a good game and they were aggressive. Like they took some shots downfield. They threw the ball. He had time. Why in that spot do you decide all of a sudden, you know what? Let's take the foot off the gas and let's just play for the field goal. Why?
I don't know. They got conservative there. It doesn't make sense to me because I don't think your defense has been great. They weren't great yesterday, and they weren't great in week one. I would rather not. I mean, the guy that played the best last night is your quarterback. I would have felt more comfortable putting it in his hands, trying to score a touchdown. Try to score a touchdown there. Or at least get one first down. I mean, you get one first down, game's over.
One first down, then you want to have these pathetic, like 1957 runs. Do it. Really, then just do your little plow into the line, timeout Washington, do it again, let them burn all their timeouts, bring it down to 35 seconds, fine. But that was just really unbelievable.
I'll say this, though, Dave, in all honesty, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if Saquon Barkley can't be special, like he doesn't get back to what you saw in his rookie year, this is not, I mean, it's not a great offense. It won't be.
No, it's not great. But if Jones plays like that, like if he has time to throw the ball and you add Evan Ingram back into the mix, they do have weapons in the passing game.
No, they do have weapons, but every good offensive team has a guy, right? Like you look at the good offenses in the National Football League, they have the guy, and then they have some nice complementary pieces, right? Like you saw that with Jets versus Carolina. They have the guy. Christian McCaffrey is that guy.
Oh, he sure is.
Who makes everyone else around him better. I don't think, Kenny Golladay is good. Sterling Shepard is good. But you drafted Saquon Barkley with the second overall pick to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, he was touched by the hand of God. He's supposed to be that guy.
And right now, he does not look like that guy.
No. And you wonder if it's just because he's shaking the rust off after that catastrophic injury.
No, or is it his running style is not conducive to having an average offensive line?
I don't know right now. I'm not sure. I'm not.
But we're having the same conversation. That's been, for the last 2 years, I know he's been hurt.
This is year 4. I get it. 1-800-919-3776. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick break, come back, and really hammer the calls. Get aggressive with the calls.
Yeah, I want to sit down on the couch with Giants fans today. I would do all calls all show if it was up to me.
Well, we're going to do a lot of calls today. And we're going to
I don't need to listen to you be a baby and pout all show.
You know what? How dare you?
I'm so upset.
What the hell do you want?
Stinks.
Really? Stop the music!
Saquon Barkley stinks. Dexter Lord stinks.
Am I wrong about anything?
Where's Leonard Williams? Was Leonard Williams even on the field?
I'm like
got
a
no
genius.
Pressure.
Really? I'm like
Tony.
the football Einstein. Everything I say comes exactly into fruition.
Why are we calling a jet sweep with Sterling Shepard that lost 9 yards? Or why are we pitching the ball to Saquon Barkley in the backfield for a 6-yard loss?
Right. It's great. Kadarius Toney, where are you? Really?
Why do we go false start?
What do we? You think they're in the huddle like, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. What? False start, then we'll pick up the yardage to get the first down.
Out of a timeout. Jones saved them on that drive.
Of course he did, because he ran to get close enough. It was Jones and Gano. The fact that this guy really consistently kicks 55-yard field goals is really...
Dude, that's
really
35 straight. Like, no big deal. You realize that Daniel Jones has not won a single primetime game yet?
No fault of his own last night. Listen, I've been a tremendous critic. You're right. He's 0-6 now in prime time.
And he played good. He played good.
Really well.
Before we go to break, just a stat for you to chew on here before we go to break. The most 0-2 starts since 2013?
So the Giants have 8.
Yeah.
And that's got to be, what are you going to give me, like next up of the teams?
Next up.
I'll say 5.
4.
4. Mm-hmm.
Double. And the Giants fans walk around.
And you wonder why I'm upset?
And Giants fans walk around like we're so much better than the Jets. Jets are a circus.
No,
I don't know.
We got 3 rings right now. I wouldn't exactly be, puffing my chest out if I were you. But yes, the Giants fan has no right to say anything. 800-919-3776. Matthias Kiwanuka, 735. I just might challenge him to a duel. We'll have a lot of calls before that. We'll get into the frenzy. We'll go around the league. We'll make our survivor picks. Boy, I hope to God you lose your survivor pick this week. I hope to God you lose your pick. Whoever you take, whatever team you take, I'm going against you. You
wonder why the sports gods continue to torment you. You can't help yourself. You can't help it.
I think I'm retaliating to your negativity more than me starting. You just did an imitation of me whining.
That's all you've done for the last 34 minutes.
You want me to go upstairs? I'll go back to bed. You want me to go to bed?
No, please. We all saw how that turned out.
I mean, really.
You want to see someone peeing down their leg like the Giants did last night? Shut your Comrex off.
I'll shut the Comrex up. I'll go back to bed. I'll emerge on Monday. I'll do it. We can listen to you stumble. We can listen to you stumble over yourself for 2.5 hours. Now you want to do that? Welcome back. Here we go.
All right, here we go, fellas.
Yeah, here we go. It's Rick and Dave, but Dave's not here. You try to think of things like the counter, all that kind of stuff.
Thursday morning.
Call in on, what do you call that thing? You pick it up, you press the buttons, the phone, right?
You go to a diner and you can sit up by the flat top. What is that called?
The counter?
Counter?
Yeah, the counter.
Yeah, the counter.
That's too funny.
Use the thing with the buttons. Use the thing with the buttons. 800-919-3776. Press them. What do you call that? That thing with the buttons?
It's Damer and DePietro and...
It could just be the DePietro show. You want that?
No. I've done what I came to done.
It's me. Listen to me eat mango. I'm DePietro.
You're lashing out right now. Go to break.
I'm furious at you.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast.
I'll give it to you whenever you want it.
Looking for more access to the show? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at DR on ESPN.
How about watching Eric Flowers block against the Giants last night?
He was acting up last night, too.
Ugh.
He had something on his mind.
Should have set Renan after him.
Remember that?
Yeah, of course. That's why I brought it up. I wanted to fight Jordan Renan.
Yeah, don't drag poor Jordan into this.
Poor Jordan's got to deal with this all year long now.
All year long.
We got to get to the goals.
Like
before we get to the goals, do you think that Gary Sanchez is like, yes, thank you, Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, or Clay Holmes.
Oh, my God.
That was a gross loss last night.
Oh,
and you could feel it coming. You could feel it coming. Like, tell me you're watching that game. Tell me you're not watching that game in that moment, and you're saying to yourself, he's going to throw a wild pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I thought it was distinctly possible.
And then it did.
Oh, brutal, that loss for the Yankees last night. Now, you fancy Jets fans, if you're coming to Sunday's home opener at MetLife Stadium, arrive early and be at the gates at least 1 hour prior to kickoff to avoid the lines. Before you get to the stadium, be sure to download your mobile tickets to your phone via the Jets app, presented by Fubo Sportsbook. iPhone users can add their tickets to their mobile wallets. Rick is even able to do it, so it's very easy. For more information, visit nyjets.com/mobile ticketing. Let's get into the calls. Let's start out with Chris in Middletown. Chris, you're on 98.7 ESPN.
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
We're doing. I mean, how do you think we're doing? Really?
I had a wonderful night.
How could we possibly be doing? Where we wake up in the middle of the night, I'm on no sleep. My team gagged away a game. I'm doing horrendously. How could I possibly be doing this morning?
Yeah, probably terrible.
You got it. You got it.
So I think two things lost us that game last night. One, that holding call was just completely terrible. That was definitely not a hold at all.
Oh, the one on board?
Yeah, it was
terrible call.
Terrible call. And it just seems like there's always a terrible call that ends up losing us the game.
Yeah, but is that what we're going to be, Chris, as a fan base? We're going to be like the whining about a holding call in the second quarter? I mean, come on. Really? I don't want to hear
really
that.
Have at this point.
No, but you know what? Own it like a man. Be like, we stink. We should have won that game. We didn't. That's what bad football teams do. We're going to blame, and it was a terrible call, but we're going to blame the officials for a play in the second quarter?
Well, that's what you do. That's what fans that get used to losing do, is they blame everyone but the team. It was the referee's fault.
Blame your team. Blame Dexter Lawrence.
It wasn't Darius Slayton's fault. It wasn't, taking a sack and pulling yourself out of field goal range. It wasn't Dexter Lawrence jumping off sides. It wasn't, all of a sudden we decided to get conservative after the interception and take no time off the clock and give Taylor Heineke 2 minutes in his third career start, and he marches down the field.
Right down the field.
Game-winning field goal.
Right there. I mean, that's Adam Humphries, right? Who that is?
That's his third career start.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Third.
And he diced you up.
Third career start. And we can't get any pressure, and we'll play soft zone.
Yep, let's drop into the old Rod Rust defense from the 80s. Alan in New Rochelle. Good morning, Alan.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome. What do you got?
Hey, Rick, you'll appreciate this before I get to my point. My best friend texted me the smack talk the minute the game ends, and I'm going on about the Giants. I said the only saving grace is I get to hear Dave in the morning, and Dave, you haven't disappointed so far, so thank you.
Great. Yeah, I'm glad I'm living up to your expectations.
The man baby.
Morning.
Come listen to the man baby from
really,
5
shut
to 8.
Up. Really, shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, Alan, hang on a second. And Ray, don't hang up on him, please.
Yeah.
Rick, shut up. All right? I don't know what you're looking for from me. I'm doing the best I can. And you should be supportive instead of being a jerk, Alan.
Being a jerk, so people know. The second we go to break, Dave is lashing out behind the scenes to everyone. He's demeaning RJ.
I'm upset.
Santiago.
I'm upset. I should lash out. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
He's gonna punch his dog because it's named Barkley.
Oh,
this guy's an animal.
All right, Alan, please. I'm sorry you have to listen to that guy. Go ahead.
No problem. So my question for you guys is, with Saquon, once he's fully healthy, I guess, do you consider trading him or maybe moving him to like slot receiver or something? Because this guy just doesn't like to run through tackles or anything. He always wants to go to the outside, stutter step, like you were saying, Dave. Then we bring in, what's his name, Brad Penny, for 2 first downs, and he gets both of them, no problem, doesn't play the rest of the game.
Let's bring in, Alan, let's bring in the old Dodgers pitcher. We'll have him break down like first down, second down.
That's Eli's brother.
And then we'll put, no, I mean, listen, first of all, you say, well, you're going to trade. What, if you made Barkley available right now, what do you think he's bringing in return?
Not nearly.
a third round pick? Like, what do you think teams are lining up for a guy coming off a catastrophic knee injury who, outside of one big run last night, is giving you 1.5 yards a carry? Who is a great guy, and I don't lessen the fact that he is, but really, what do you think you're getting in return for Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, but at a certain point, this is the NFL, man. This is the NFL. Like, you don't have to be a great guy to be a great player. Like, we can't just keep prioritizing these are great guys. Well,
no, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Jose, this is going to be a great call. Jose in Queens, you're on 98.7.
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call. Dave, Rick. Dave, I've been listening to you for a while, ever since you had the 7 o'clock slot after the K show, a few years back. And I can always count on you to have the pulse of the Giants fan, no matter what. But yesterday's game was, honestly, it's like watching a horror movie where you expect the main characters to die because they're doing everything they can to die. We just continuously yesterday continued to fail and want to lose that game. From Daniel Jones running, having that amazing run that gets you off your couch, yelling in euphoria just to have it called back from a holding penalty, to taking a sack that takes you out of field goal range where you get no points on a drive where you at least guaranteed 3, to having Heineke standing in the pocket looking like Aaron Rodgers with all the time in the world, just slinging the ball everywhere. It's insane. And then through all this disastrous, cliche horror movie nonsense that you watch, you get down to the moment where he misses the field goal and you think you've escaped, you think you've won. Yeah. Oh, my God, thank God, just to have a penalty give them another opportunity to win and stab you in the heart. It's insane. Honestly, this is probably one of the worst losses in the last 10 years. The Giants have a bunch of losses that just always stick with you and just grind you. And when you sit there daydreaming, when you think about these losses, it just grinds your gears. This is probably one of the worst losses this team has had in the last 10 years. And I don't know what to do. I don't think I can watch this team anymore.
You're going to watch. Jose, you got to watch. And thanks for the call. And I told you it was going to be a good call. You have to watch. Because this is what gives you strength as a fan. You watch these moments. You remember these moments. So that way, when eventually they do become good and win games, you'll be like, God, it'll just be that much sweeter when it does, in fact, happen.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually,
because if this team continues to find ways to lose. And that's what's crazy, too, is, Joe Judge is he's a New England guy. And Bill Belichick always says it. He stands by it. More games are lost than won.
They lost that game last night.
That falls right under that category.
They lost that game last night. I got to tell you, I don't think you could be a Giants fan this morning and be excited from what you saw from Joe Judge last night.
Well, no, all the pre-snap penalty, that pre-snap penalties on special teams, of all things. Like Dexter Lawrence in that spot. Like, I could understand in that moment, you're a little overexcited, you're like one of the guys on the edges that's trying to block that punt. What is Dexter Lawrence trying to achieve there?
I almost feel like in that situation, just, you know what, don't until the ball is actually snapped.
Exactly.
Like it's a 48-yard field goal. I understand the odds are he's going to make it, but the last thing you can afford to have happen is to jump off sides.
I'll tell you what, I like his chances from 43 on his second attempt more than I like from 48.
Right? Odds are if you give him a chance from 48 and a chance from 43 in good weather conditions, he's going to make one of the two kicks. And that's what happened.
I'll tell you right now, golfing, you give me that second putt, my second golfer, love my chances. Love it.
What a terrible day this is going to be.
It's awful. It's awful for you. But it's more of the same. That's what drives you crazy, too.
It's not going away, and it's not going to get better. And I stand by, and you can say it's whining or whatever you want. This is going to be, this is going to be a 5-win season.
This is going to be a true test for Joe Judge. I'll tell you that right now.
He could lose the team. He
Easily.
Can. He could. I don't, and I know it's early, but I will say this, and I'm sure it'll wind up in the K show, and they'll, how could he say this? I don't think it's without reason to think that if things spiral out of control, that they could completely clean house after the season.
Well, it's going to get late early, is what's going to happen. It's going to get late early. Because when you look at the schedule, yeah, you feel like they should beat Atlanta, but after that Atlanta game.
But we say should. They should have beat Washington last night.
No, I know that. But again, you had some baked-in excuses going into that game. Short week, Saquon Barkley still coming back from the ACL. Games in Washington. Their defense was embarrassed by the Chargers. If I was a Washington football team fan, I wouldn't be overly enthusiastic about that.
Well, you won the game. So that's the most important thing. But this vaunted defense, they didn't look very vaunted last night.
No, not at all. First half was
they were good.
Was more what you expected, but second half Jones had some time, and you see what he's capable of doing when he does have some time. He has couple throws a game that are head scratching, like real off target throws like that.
I thought there was only one of those last night though. The one to the linebacker where the Giants had the ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, he has a couple of those, but then he also has a couple throws like that throw on third down he made to Sterling Shepard was and he throws seeds. Sterling Shepard hadn't even come out of his break yet. Throws a seed, great throw. The one to Rudolph, great throw. Rudolph, by the way, I said this before the show. Kyle Rudolph does not block well at all.
Kyle Rudolph is what, 34?
He's a little bit past it.
Come on. What are you doing bringing in Kyle Rudolph? What is the point behind that?
Well, it was supposed to be for, veteran presence, red zone. That's what it was for.
The Jonathan Stewart experiment.
Yeah, but for you guys, you get in the red zone, chance to put the game away. You just want to go.
Have they thrown the ball to him in the red zone yet?
I don't believe they have.
No. I don't believe they have either. Let's hear from Joe Judge, and then we'll get to some more calls. Pressure is part of the job, and we can handle that pressure.
Guys, we all get paid pretty well. Pressure's part of the job, right? My son's playing high school football right now. He didn't quite have that pressure because he's out there playing for fun. Every coach and every player, we're paid very well at this level. It's the ultimate level of competition. It's the ultimate team sport. There's pressure for all of us. We can handle that. We prepare to handle that. We talk a lot throughout our team building, our leadership building, that when things like this happen, we respond the right way as a team.
All right, well, then respond well. Because last night didn't look like they responded very well.
Offense responded. The offense responded.
The offense responded well. Jones responded well. And I feel badly for him because you come up with this ad, well, he's 0-6 in primetime games. That is not his fault last night.
No, it's not his fault. But we were also waxing poetic about how, you felt good. I thought Washington would win. You felt good. Daniel Jones hasn't lost against Washington. It's just one of those things where he plays really well against Washington.
He was great.
Felt good about it. Yeah, he was great. And that's how that's how he has to play. If Saquon Barkley continues to not be able to run the football, how he played last night, read options, and I don't care, you can't worry about him getting hurt and everything else. Because I remember I mentioned that when it was DCR, and I said, Daniel Jones is at his best when he's using his legs. He's like, well, you can't rely on that because he can get hurt. I don't care. The only reason you draft him 6th overall is for him to play the way he played yesterday.
Be a difference maker. And he was. Last night, he was a difference maker. Let's go to Eric in Queens. Good morning, Eric.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Oh, Eric, please don't.
I'm doing great, Eric. I'm doing great.
Really, I can't have it. Eric, Ray, don't hang up on him, please. I can't have it continued. How you doing with every call this morning, especially?
At this point, I was just trying to be polite because after last night's debacle, there's nothing else in my life to go by. There's only so much more of Joe Judge I can listen to. Of, hey, we're going to play this tough style of New York football. We'll fix it. We got the right pieces. I know you guys have said it, and I've heard it all over. Evan Ingram, completely overrated. God only knows where this kid is, if he's ever going to play again. And Saquon Barkley, get it? You're coming back from a devastating knee injury. But if you're not 100%, don't step on the field, brother.
Yeah, but see though, but here's the thing though, Eric.
Yeah, but you know what? If he doesn't play, then you kill him for not playing.
Well, not even that he doesn't play. Like Odell Beckham Jr. is not playing right now.
Right?
They're going to ease him in. The problem is that you need Saquon Barkley. So I mean, it's regular season games that you're trying to ease him into. Wasn't this the same conversation we were having about the Yankees, Dave? Guys coming off injury.
Yep.
That you need, like we need to get Gio Urshela back into this lineup. But I mean, he looks so lost because he's just getting back. I mean, Saquon Barkley it's going to take him a minute to get himself back.
Yeah, I listen. It does make sense that the guy's coming off a catastrophic knee injury.
It does, but the question I asked you, and it was a question we've been asking about Saquon Barkley, with we'll call it average offensive line at best, does his running style work? Does he always try to hit home runs?
Doesn't seem to. I don't feel like they use him properly either.
No, I don't think they do either. But I also think, like, when you watch, I mean, the closest comp to Saquon Barkley in the NFL is who? Christian McCaffrey, right?
Probably so, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't, like, he'll attack the line of scrimmage. He's like he's shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. There could be nothing there, and McCaffrey's going to give you 3 yards. There could be nothing there, and Barkley's going to give you nothing.
Well, I mean, if it's an average offensive line, right, there might be a hole, but it's only going to be open for a second. Like, you got to hit that hole, and you got to have a positive play at the least. I mean, he has so many negative plays. There's so many times he's dancing around getting tackled in the backfield. It's like
and how many times have you watched him run? You're like, God, he picked up 4, but he could have picked up 8. Like, there was more room there. It happens a lot. There was one he kind of just dove forward where he was barely touched last night.
Yeah, you mentioned not using him right. They got to throw him the football more, man. This is a guy who should be up close to 100 receptions every year.
He's a nightmare matchup.
Like that play to McKissick down the sideline.
Yeah, where is that?
On that wheel route, on that the 2-play 17-second touchdown drive.
You take such enjoyment, don't you? You really?
Well, it's the rare night.
I hope you choke on the mango. I don't want you to pass on, but I hope you eat it and it gets lodged and somebody has to do the Heimlich on you.
No Heimlich at this house. I got the Life Vac, buddy. No Heimlich.
What do you mean the Life? What is the Life Vac?
Oh, you got to get one. Everyone should have one at their house. It's because I got a mango in my mouth.
What is a Life Vac?
It's a
tell me it's something that suctions food out of you.
Exactly right.
Oh, come on.
I'm telling you right now. We got one at the house. God forbid something happens.
So you're choking on a mango and she stuffs a vacuum down your gullet?
It's not a vacuum.
Take it.
Check it out during the break. I'm telling you. I might buy you one to make you feel better.
Did I eat yesterday? Oh, my God.
Oh, how bad is that for you, too? You
multiple cream cheeses? Oh, I didn't eat all day. I had a headache. I got the game. I'm on no sleep. I mean, really, I could be hospitalized by the end of the show today.
I didn't eat either. I was waiting for you.
Stop it,
as soon as sundown, boom.
Guess how many bagels I had yesterday?
At least 4.
5.5 bagels.
5.5?
5.5.
Well, now you gotta break this thing down for me. We go plain. I know you like sesame. What do we have?
Well, the intent, and I think you will appreciate this, because it wasn't that awful. Like, I hadn't eaten all day long, had a bagel, cream cheese, lox, tomato, little red onion, little sprinkle of lemon.
No capers?
Right? No capers, no. I appreciate the caper. We did not have capers at the house. So that was bagel 1. I think that was a plain bagel. All right? Bagel 2, sesame, toasted, tuna, tomato, red onion. All right, just living life. Okay, excited for the game. Hadn't eaten all day. I knew it was going to be a festive eating day. So that's bagel 2. Then bagel 3, just you know what, before the game, gonna settle the stomach. A little nervous.
Yep.
Plain bagel, boom. 3 bagels, done. Then when things went south, I was like, oh, I'm going to just start eating bagels. Because we had them in the kitchen just sitting there. Like, ooh. I
like that kind of party.
So I went, cinnamon raisin bagel, I'll take that. Boom. Down that thing. Then the kick, boom. Sitting there watching the post game. Will you have anything else? I open the bag. That's a half of a cinnamon raisin. I'll take that thing. Boom. 5.5 bagels. 5.5 bagels.
That's
multiple
well
cream cheeses.
See, that right there is winning while losing. Your team lost, but you won.
The Joey Chestnut of bagels. And 2 muffins.
I love the muffin, too. Oh, you give me the grilled muffin? Give me the grilled muffin on the flat top.
1 corn,
on that thing?
1 blueberry. Boom.
I'll tell you, listen, I'll tell you what, you know how much I love food? I would put the smell of a toasting cinnamon raisin bagel up there with anything. Walk into the kitchen.
It is one of the finer things in life. Toasted cinnamon raisin, great. Giants football, not so great.
Thanks for listening to the DiPietro and Rothenberg podcast. Listen live weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. on 98.7 ESPN in New York, the ESPN app, the TuneIn app, or on your smart speaker by asking it to play 98.7 ESPN.